Hey everybody, this is Bryan Hogue. Welcome to Chiller Night Live. And wow, Renee is just really hitting it right out the gate here, Renee. Wow. Get psyched, fellow monsters and creatures, goblins and ghouls. It's now time for our live and fun Chiller Night Theater. So buckle up, Buttercup. Put on your tinfoil aluminum hats, because it's Terror Tuesday. And then she has holy cow, quite a myriad of emojis. Wow. Let's have some monster fun, she says. Creature chaos. That's what that comment looks like. Let's monster party. All right, Renee. Wow. Wow, great. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, there's a lot going on there. But I am Bryan Hogue. Welcome to the Chiller Night Live, where from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 p.m. we'll be talking about all things horror, science fiction, paranormal, and in this particular case, tonight, the topic is King Kong. So we'll be talking about just anything King Kong, movies, various movies, vintage collectibles, anything. We'll be throwing stuff up there. So how about you, Renee? Do you enjoy, what's your favorite version of King Kong? Mine, I gotta say, not that it's the best visually, but just the most nostalgic, of course, is the 1933 King Kong, the original. So Al says, hi everyone, it's Kong night. Kong. Yes, hey Al, thanks for joining us. Let's go Tuesday. Let's go Horror Tuesday Live, Renee says. Dee says, hello everyone. Hey Dee, thanks for joining us. Bob says, hey Hoagie, love Kong Skull Island, was awesome. Oh yeah, that was, I forget what years these all come out. My sense of years are really way off since probably about the last 5 or 6 years. I'm so confused anymore. John Wayne, hey, SBC. Howdy, everyone. How's it going there? Thanks for joining us. Renee says, I love King Kong 1932. 32. Well, that's when they started making it, in September of 1932 into March of 33. 1933, Joe Expo says. Yes. Bonehead says, hello, Chiller Night crew and Brian. Hey, Bonehead, thanks for joining us. Stephanie says, hey, y'all, sorry I'm late. Book club. Hey, wow, we just started, so thanks for joining us. The topic tonight, King Kong. All right, so there we go. I actually have somewhere, I wasn't about to go try to dig this out, but I have a VHS it's a colorized version of King Kong. If you can imagine that, colorized 1933 version of King Kong. And it is kind of fun to watch. And I also have of course, the original black and white version, on disc. So it's kind of cool. I get to see both versions. Brian says, hello, everyone. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining us. All right, hopefully everyone's got their Kong on tonight. King Kong 1933, and then of course they had the 1976 version, which came out when I was a kid. I think I was 8 at the time, and yeah, 1976. Is that what I said? Yeah, and then of course we had the Peter Jackson's 2005 version of it. So we can talk about all those. It was asked last week, what about Mighty Joe Young? We can bring up that, because that was, and of course there was the Son of Kong. It came out also in 1933. It was just, why? But Mighty Joe Young, that was, that had better effects in it. It was, different type of story, but I mean, it was done by the same effects artist, Willis O'Brien, who did King Kong. did a lot of other things too. Renee says there are 2 documentaries on Tubi about the early appearances of dinosaurs on TV and movies, and King Kong emerged before Godzilla. Yeah, they like I said, Willis O'Brien, who did stop motion animation. In fact, that might have been one of the first feature films in 1925, I believe, with The Lost World that he had worked on. He worked on another The Lost World in, I think it was 1960, but Willis O'Brien, the puppeteer or the stop motion animation, but he didn't only just work on that, but he worked on a way of combining the stop motion, projecting it on with live action footage, which really gave the film a really, really cool look. So I just prefer that version of it, because that was the one I was most excited about as a kid. When the 1976 version was coming on, the publicity leading up to that, I remember this, was that they had built a live action, or the live robotic version of the ape, and I thought that that's what we were going to see. There was like one scene for maybe just a handful of seconds where we actually saw this version of the ape, and it was very didn't look at all like, most of the movie was Rick Baker in the King Kong costume. But I remember that was like, wow, I can't even imagine, and then you saw the movie and it was like, okay. Let's see. Wow, look at all these comments. Al says, oh, I saw the Keller King Kong years ago on TV. But it says, hello, Miss Ray and Stephanie. What books did you discuss at the Books Club, Miss Stephanie, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, yeah. Speaking of books, there's the old, the old Crestwood House monster books. I should get a copy of all of these. Find them on eBay and just get them so that I have one for the monster that we are discussing for the night. Renee says King Kong is like U.S. landing on the moon. First Godzilla and Ultraman, and the rest came afterwards. Donkey Kong Arcade, John Wayne says, that would be great for your escape room. Yeah, yeah. Bob says, I have worked with special needs folks all over the place. Knew of a person who loves Kong too, but also wanted to marry Ronda Rousey. They have a Kong figure, and his giant hands is a figure of Ronda Rousey. It cracked me up. Al says, I saw the 76 Kong film in the theater. Stephanie says, I've seen the Day Ray Fabre movie. Favorite movie? The Jeff Bridges movie. The Peter Jackson movie, Kong Skull Island, and Kong versus Godzilla. I've been in the Empire State Building. Wow, that's cool. Wow. Brian says, in every Kong movie I've ever seen, I need to know, why did the natives build a wall to keep Kong contained and put a door big enough for him to go through? That's a good question. Has anybody even thought of that? I never thought of that question. That's a pretty good question. I don't know if anyone has an answer to that. Yeah, they want to keep him out, but yet they build the doors plenty big enough for him to get through. But it says, I like the original King Kong, and I like the 76 remake too. I went to the drive-in to watch 76 Kong. Wonderful time and great memory, by the way. Yeah, Ava likes the 76 one, so she prefers that one. I like the 33. She likes the 76. Renee says, so before King Kong were dinosaurs and drawing cartoons and stop motion animation like you are describing now. Yeah, that's a neat process. And of course, King Kong, when Willis O'Brien worked on the puppet, you can see, obviously, there was really no way around doing, what was it, rabbit fur at the time, over the sculpting of the puppet. And every time he's touching the puppet to move it, the animatronic, it's, or not animatronic, the puppet, it's, you see his fingers, the impression on the fur. But I guess there was really no way around it. I don't know if they really thought about that or not. Uh, Dee says King Kong 2005 made me sob. I'm not crying, you're crying. Yeah, that was really they really pulled at your heartstrings there. Made the monster, um, really a lot of pathos in that movie with him. You didn't want him to die. In the original movie, it's like, and I don't remember the 1976 version all that well, to be honest with you. But I know that you did have compassion for the monster. I mean, he was out rampaging, killing folks in New York City, and of course the natives. When he got through the big double doors that Brian had mentioned, um, he had no trouble fitting through. Yeah, he was putting the hurting on those natives, and then he gets to New York and he's killing folks. So there was I know that was actually discussed. While they were making the movie, like, are we gonna feel sorry for the monster at the end? Because that was, you wanted to have some compassion. Uh, they wanted you to have that, and you did in the original one, but um, more so Peter Jackson did a better job at it in the 2005 movie. Uh, gave Kong and Ann much more of a bonding. Um, let's see. Richard says, "What the heck, Brian? You're always wearing cool T-shirts. What's up with the plain shirt?" Oh, I bought a bunch of these. I have a ton of just black T-shirts. So a lot of times this is this is what I'm wearing at home. Either this or like a oh, I have a lot of like military green T-shirts that I wear quite a bit. But I don't know if it's going to affect anything visually while I'm doing this. So I just don't normally throw on. Yeah, yeah. Well, and I didn't have any King Kong T-shirts, or I would have thought to put that one on. John Wayne says, speaking of stop motion, I also did a few scenes this way for the film I'm shooting. Oh, that'd be cool if you could share that. I mean, if you'd want to, but that'd be neat. Let me know if you ever want to do that. Put that on. I'll be happy to play that. That would be cool to see. I did some of that when I was a student at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. We had to build the armature out of aluminum. We had to cut it, put the divots in, and the ball joints. You had to make all that from scratch using the rod and the slats. And then little screws and everything. Make your armature, sculpt your creature or figure over that, and then work on that. Make the foam latex cover for that. And we had a class on stop motion animation. It's pretty interesting. I did a Boba Fett. I make a little set for him in the background, his training and stuff. I'm going to I'm so holy cow, guys. I'm going to jump ahead here because I'm sorry, I'm missing all these comments. Bob Book says maybe the door was for the other monsters and the door was in case they needed defended from the other side. I don't know. Nothing looked too friendly on the other side of that wall, I'll tell you. Renee says saw King Kong 76 in the Coronet. Someone's saying Tom. Everyone's saying Tom. There's Tom. Tom, thanks for joining us. King Kong Escapes, Brian says. Yeah, that was one of those. Was that the one in at 86, I think. Again, the gorilla suit type of movie. Because of the gate, they probably lured him through the gate and then they locked him up, John Wayne says. Richard says, how did everyone feel about Mighty Joe Young movie? Good or bad movie? I don't remember seeing it, but I know scenes from it, just looking at it. I know that the puppet was improved. That process, was a little better than it was in the original King Kong. But King Kong fights ginormous spider, Renee says. Yeah, that was they had a scene that they deleted, I think, from the original movie where he did that. Um, I don't remember. Did he do that in a 2005 version? Let me put up some of these posters here. We're talking about. You know what's funny about this poster here, the 1976, the most exciting original motion picture event of all time. It's original. A remake. All right. All right, whatever. Call it whatever you want. It's your poster. And in the 2005 Peter Jackson version, which was a good movie. Good movie. Like Stephanie had mentioned, they definitely had more of a bonding between Kong and Anne. And speaking of Anne, there's Anne and of course Fay Ray as Ann Darrow and Bruce Cabot as Jack Driscoll. Any Western fans or John Wayne fans, you've seen, whether you realize or not, you've seen Bruce Cabot in quite a bit of John Wayne movies, over the years. So, but there's Anne and Jack, and then of course the three big stars of that movie. Again, Jack Driscoll is Ann Darrow, and Robert Armstrong is Carl Denham, the movie director guy. So, pretty cool. Then, well, I better try to keep up with the comments. There's lots of comments. This is fantastic. Bob says the King movie with Jack Black was the best in my opinion. That was the 2005. Okay, Jack Black can really act. He is a good actor. Really thought that they did justice to the original. The lead actress was gorgeous and a great actress. Yeah, that was a good movie. They did a good job. He did a good job bringing that, because Peter Jackson was a huge fan of the original King Kong. So I saw Tom's 76 Kong Blue Chunks. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it must be what you grew up watching, because like I was excited about it when it came out, but then it was like, oh no. Renee says one of my all-time favorite Kong flicks is Mega King Kong. The big robot. Yeah, yeah. That was right after they did King Kong versus Godzilla. That was Toho's follow-up movie. I'm looking a lot of this stuff up because I quite frankly I don't remember. Like, I remember seeing this. I don't remember. I own that movie that you're talking about, the one with the big Mecha King Kong. I own that on DVD, but I don't know if I've watched it. I'm sure I have watched it, but I don't remember anything about it, to be honest with you. It later appeared in the 1967 Toho film King Kong Escapes. Didn't they do one though? Or maybe that's King Kong Lives. Was the 86 one. Raymond says hello. Hey Raymond, thanks for joining us. We are talking about Kong. King Kong. Want to be formal here when we're addressing King Kong. What's this one? Oh, King Kong. Oh, and then look at that. The various sizes of King Kong. That was another thing. King Kong in the movie, in the first one, the original 1933, was only like 23, 24 feet tall. I know, you got this idea like he was so huge, he towered over the buildings. No, he didn't. He didn't. I know on the posters, you see that big classic poster. I think I have that right, yeah, this one right here. You see him like over the buildings, but then you see, wow, Anne must be as big as a skyscraper. No, he was only 24 feet tall, and then of course he grew to 102 meters. That's approximately 335 feet. So almost 14 times in size for the Godzilla versus Kong movie. That is just, I understand that they had to do that in order to have him fight Godzilla. Even in the first movie, how in the world, that would have been like, that fight would have lasted about 3 seconds. Godzilla would have just slaughtered him, stepping on him. So I guess they'd have to make the fight fair, or make them of equal size. But it says, I can't even pose my NECA King Kong figure to make him look exciting. I can't imagine trying to do Harryhausen and make him look like he's really moving. Speaking of that, remember the King Kong Aurora model kits? I did not have this, by the way. I had here's another picture of King Kong with glow in the dark head. As we all know in the movie, oh, that head just was glowing like crazy. You ought to get that looked at. That ain't normal. Yeah, but what the heck? I thought I had other stuff in here, like the Bendhams. I remember the little rubbery guy with the wire, and I had that. I had that little toy when I was a kid. I thought I put a picture up there, but I don't see it. Does anyone, John Wynn says, does anyone have a list of all the King Kong films there are? How many exist? I don't. I know that they had, like, The Son of Kong, 1933. It came out the same year as King Kong. Horror. It's really not a good movie. Mighty Joe Young is not a King Kong movie, but somebody had mentioned that last week about, can we mention Mighty Joe Young? That was in 1949. Is the original King Kong movie in the public domain, Joe may ask? No, not yet. Not yet. Another decade or two it will be, Tom Paisley says. So, Bonin says, yes, he was in quite a few of the Dukes movies. Always liked him. You're talking about, of course, Bruce Cabot. I wish John Wayne could have made more movies with Dean Martin and done one with Eastwood. Yeah. My favorite movie, one of my favorite John Wayne movies was El Dorado, but then the other one that basically was the same movie. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I guess, but basically has Dean Martin doing the Robert Mitchum's part as the drunken sheriff. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank there. I love those movies. Love King Kong. Doc Dredd says, "Hey Doc, thanks for joining us." How far back am I in these comments? So Jason says, King Kong with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange was both a good movie and sad. Brutal ending. Jason, thanks for joining us. Yes. New Empire. Oh, Bonin says, well, Kong and Godzilla will both be in the theaters on March 24th through 29th for the New Empire release. Cool. Isn't it cool, though, that this is still, I mean, he and Godzilla are still going strong in the theaters. Mostly Godzilla. I mean, many more movies about him, of course. What did we say, 36 or 37 last week we mentioned that? Bonin says, I bought a King Kong figure from Sharon Noble and it glows too, right? I'd wear gloves when handling that. Lead-lined. Or something, I don't know. John Wayne says Hollywood monsters are getting bigger every year. Yes. Let me scroll ahead, and I'm sorry if I'm missing comments here, but I know that I need to catch up a little bit. Had the King Kong model with the glow-in-the-dark head. Al says. Let's see. D says, with the 2024 release of Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, the total will be 13 Kong movies. Ah! There, D says there's 13 Kong movies. There you go. That's interesting. Renee says, Paul, Godspeed recovery. Is Paul on here tonight? Oh, there he is. Paul says, sorry I'm late. Not a problem. Manid? Are you saying Manos? Sons of Katie Elder is a favorite, Doc Dredd says. Oh, with that, John Wayne and Dean Martin? Okay, I do remember that one. Way to go, D. Tom says, yes. Thank you, D, for that information. Very cool. Al says, who saw the 1986 King Kong Lives? That's it. the sequel to the 76 movie. I have not seen that. I have not seen that. I'm aware of it, but I haven't seen that. That's the one I was thinking of when somebody said King Kong Escapes earlier. I was thinking of King Kong Lives. Bonus says, uh-oh, Miss Renee Cruz has my name highlighted. I must be in trouble. Whatever it is I didn't do, I guess, I don't know. Well, Jason says, I love the campiness of the King Kong Lives with an artificial heart. Yeah, they did the heart transplant. Big crane. Yeah, not Linda Hamilton's greatest movies. No, I don't remember if I saw it or not. Maybe if I did, it was so long ago. I don't have a lot of memory of this stuff. But I remember the thing about the heart transplant. Bonus says, I'm just a death's head, an ugly little skull, ain't got no hands. But you type pretty well. I mean, let's give credit where credit's due. Renee says, King Kong, 1933. Son of Kong, 1933. King Kong versus Godzilla, 1962. King Kong Escapes, 1967. This is from Renee, if I didn't say that. King Kong, 76. King Kong Lives in 86. The Mighty Kong in 98. The Mighty Kong, I don't remember that one. And King Kong 2005. The Mighty Kong. I'm not aware of that one. Brian says, King Kong Escapes was made in Japan and he fought against Robot Kong. Yeah, yep. I was thinking of King Kong Lives when that was brought up originally, but yeah, King Kong Escapes. And like I said, I do have that one. I have that, and I have King Kong versus Godzilla. I have both of those movies on DVD, but I don't know why I didn't dig those out. I make such a mess when I'm going through and trying to find movies that I haven't looked at in like 20 years. Let's see. Renee says 2000 and up are the newer ones. Bonin says, I remember seeing that Kong Lives. Stephanie says, what did you do? What did you do, Bones? LOL. Renee says, no, just saying hello. So, John Wayne says, glow in the dark. Fortunately, radium paint is no longer used on toys today. Jason says, let's not forget Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong. Boy, that just instantly brings back some memories. Al says, anyone ever see a mess of a movie called Queen Kong? No. No, I haven't. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of Queen Kong, Stephanie says. See, it's not just me. Has anybody else heard of this? Al says about a movie called Queen Kong. Bonus says, I got the next door neighbor to type for me. Oh, was that how you do it? I told her I won't haunt her if she does. That she saw the Skull movie with Cushing and Lee, and she's terrified. Paul says, yes, I'm doing well, none and my chiller family. Good, well, we're glad you're here, Paul. Queen Kong was a comedy. It wasn't too bad. Queen Kong. Oh my gosh. Brian says the giant ape movie made in England was called Conga. Oh, okay, with a K. Wasn't there? Oh, Congo was the one I'm thinking of with. That came out shortly after Jurassic Park. That was an American movie. Congo. You're talking about Conga. All right. Paul says, thanks Stephanie and Renee and my chiller family. Yes. Well, we are happy that you made it. Bonus says, Miss Stephanie, I can cause chaos, panic, and disorder with absolutely no effort at all. It's good to have skills. So, all right. Let's see, do we have anything else? It is 8:30. We are in the middle of the program, so I'm going to do a plug for my Chiller Night Escape Experience, horror-themed escape room store in the Cranberry Mall. That is the Cranberry in Venango County, Pennsylvania. There's a picture of it, and then it's a little different angle of it. I've got, of course, Zombie Outbreak escape room that you can book right now. Right now. You can't do it right now because I'm doing the show. I mean, come on, let's be reasonable. But you can book it, however, by just calling up 814-209-8214, or you can go to chillernight.com and book online. And then, of course, we also have Jack Shadow's House of Terror Haunted House. That is a seasonal attraction. We'll be opening that back up in October. And then, coming soon, what the heck happened here? Ah, the witching hour is not showing up. Huh. That's odd. Well, in this case, time for a commercial. And that's not working either. All right. Let me try this again. No! What the heck? All right. You know what? Just forget it. We're not going to have a commercial. Why? What's this? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So if you wanna, the witching hour. I wish I had that out there. Why? Why isn't that working? I'm gonna hit the no. You guys are not seeing that, I'm sure, but yeah. Why I oughta. Let's see. Bonin says I saw Congo too. That was Britain's version of King Kong. Renee says, Amy, the talking gorilla, is the main protagonist from the movie Congo, who speaks with sign language. That, yeah, okay, and I don't remember that. Device that allows her to speak. She is a gorilla who was born in the Congo region of Africa. Cool. Raymond says, why not a Queen Kong in 2024? Wow, apparently there was a Queen Kong. Queen Kong. What year was that? She was trained and taught by Dr. Peter Elliott to talk. That's cool. John Wayne says, I just checked. Queen Kong is on YouTube. Oh, there you go. I know. Wait a minute, man. Before I lose all of you viewers in a mass exodus to leave here and go rush off and watch Queen Kong, just wait until 9 o'clock. It'll still be there. Jason says, hey, Dr. Ed, nice to see an Eastern PA resident on here. Yes, it is. The gorilla said ugly woman in the movie, Renee says. Bob says, Congo, the book was awesome. Great author. The movie was cheesy. Book. Oh, the movie was cheesy. Book was great at better. Same for World War Z. That seems to be the case sometimes, isn't it? Where the books better. Paul says, I can cause a problem just by saying Manos. Ah, competing with Bonehead, huh? Who can cause the most terror or chaos? Bonehead says, awesome poster for the House of Terror, Brian. Thank you. That was that's done by a artist named Rick Whitlow, and he does all my work for me, all the stuff that I do. He you know, like this here, the logo. I draw what I want, and then he you know, I send him a little sketch of what I'm looking for, and then he goes from there and makes it. I wonder if I have any. Yeah, I have like these books where I draw this stuff out and then send them the idea. So it's pretty cool. Renee says, Chaka says, Salistaka. Yeah. For Land of the Lost. Do a live commercial announcement, Brian. We'll let you. I wonder if it's going to work. It hasn't been working. What the heck? Why? Why isn't this working? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But that is my favorite movie next to Star Trek movies. I'm a nerd, Paul says. Oh, the Manos? Brian called Tom Paisley. He can fix it. Yeah. Good Lord. I don't know why this works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. But there was one viewer on here used to be on here quite regularly for at least a short little while. But he got upset watching some of the technical mishaps. He said, you need to get it together. I'm like, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to be doing this at all. I'm doing it for the fun of it. And if you're taking it that seriously, go watch something else. Jason says, Brian, you're way better than any Queen Kong movie. Oh, thank you, Jason. Joan Wayne says, on the subject of monkeys, ever since I watched the film Link with my little brother, he's been afraid of monkeys. Link, I've never seen that. I've never heard of that one. Renee says, Queen Kong is a 1976 British-German adventure comedy film parodying King Kong. Okay, all right. Interesting that it would come out too the year of the 76 remake. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. Stephanie said, if I'm skipping any, I'm sorry about that. Hey, y'all, don't leave yet. As for me, yeah, don't rush off the Queen Kong. I'll watch it later. Right now, I'm watching Navy SEALs versus zombies on TV. Oh, that would be cool. Renee says, I love the Queen Kong. Interesting. Let's see. Jason said, you shared some of your art school drawings before. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I should do that again sometime. I don't have them loaded in the queue here, but yeah, I'll have to do that again. I was going to find the artwork of the armature that I had built to give you an idea of what that looked like. I'm sure you know the stop motion puppets, what they look like, but it was interesting because we had to sketch out, we had to pick a character, that we were going to do, of course, and then figure out the sizes, everything for the to build the aluminum armature for that. That was pretty cool. I actually had to take the like little piece of aluminum and put it on the lathe and actually make the little ball joints, and pretty neat. There was a lot to it. Tom says, check the file link. Have you moved the file since you pulled it into OBS? I don't think I did, but maybe. I mean, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. I will check on that. All right. Zombie. I'm going to actually remove that right now. All right. Paul says, I hate VHS. Yeah. That's all we had. But it says, Paul, I forgot about Betamax. You really do love that movie. Well, God bless you. You'd be proud of that. Oh my God, Betamax. What the heck? Betamax. And also video disc player. It's like NA44LP. I don't know what that is. Renee says, wow, whoa, wow, Bryan Hogue is drinking a ginormous martini, shaken, not stirred. That's right, huh? They got a little eyeball in there, huh? It fits with the theme. I figured I'd break out the martini again. Missing Jack Shadow. Just look at the guy. Just look at him. See, he's got his martini. Martini in hand. Kind of miss Jack. Bonus says, I'm addicted to Godzilla and John Wayne, so I can't judge you. Bob says, It'd take more than a giant marauding female gorilla to get us away from you, Hoagie. Oh, thank you. Renee's got a martini and an olive branch and a dove. Oh, Paul says like a 44 LP record. Okay, that's what you were trying to do. I was like, what are these letters and numbers just thrown together up here? Okay, I got it. But it says, Paul, I will say when I watch reruns of Mystery Science Theater 3000, they do a funny spoof of Manos. Ah, that is hard to believe that somebody would watch that movie and not take it seriously. You know, give it the serious attention that it so deserves. Paul, you pay no mind to that comment that Bonehead just said. Deborah says, hello, long time no see. Thank goodness for the eyeball martini. Yeah, Deborah, thanks for joining us. Yes, long time no see. I hope all is well. Thanks for hopping on here and chatting with us. Our topic tonight, of course, is King Kong. We've been on this kick here for about the last. We did the Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula, Godzilla, and now we're doing King Kong. So it's been like every week we've been doing featuring a different monster, and then I don't know what next week's monster will be. Maybe one of you guys will have an idea. Jason says, The War of the Gargantuans was a great movie, sort of a King Kong ripoff. John Wayne says, I have everything. Beta, VHS, Video 2000. Laserdisc. So those are the ones, remember those that you had to flip them over like halfway through? I didn't have one, but I knew of somebody who had one of those, and that's what I remember sitting at his house. We were watching a movie, and he had to flip it over halfway through it. But you know, VHSs. There were some movies like Braveheart and the Good, Bad, and the Ugly, where it had the two. Remember those, like Titanic? That was another one. Long movies. You had the two tapes in the box for VHS. just think of how far we've come with this stuff. Like the 8-track tapes of movies, you know, was the VHS. Renee says, Jack Shadow rocks. He sure does. John Dr. Dread Murray. Manos is a classic. Oh, don't encourage him, Doc. Don't encourage Paul. Bonus says, SBC, you got Manos on all of them? Good God, man. Yeah, here we thought Paul was the one with the problem. John Wayne says, question, which King Kong film is the best and which is the worst? Well, if you're looking at, okay, my favorite is, my favorite is the 1933. The worst, okay, if you're looking at just the story of King Kong, like the original, the classic story, the 1933, 1976, and 2005, I'm going to say my favorite, not the best visually, of course, 1933 compared to 2005, would be the 1933. The worst out of those three, by far, would be the 1976 version. So I don't think Ava would agree with me, but that's what I'm going to say. She likes the 76 one. But the 2005 one is a fun watch too. I think they did like I said, Peter Jackson, who made that film, huge fan. He loved the original movie, which I think does show when you're watching that movie. You can tell he definitely took direct inspiration from the original, which is cool. I think he did a good job. But my favorite is the 1933. How about some of you guys? What do you think? Tom says the only movie I ever saw on Laserdisc was Cat People with Kinski. Oh yeah. I don't know a lot of people had those. Jason says Manos and Iga should always be a double features. Speaking of Iga, I saw that was on Stream TV Saturday night, Now, I haven't been posting that on Saturdays just because, and I should, I didn't do it last week, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, because I post them, and then for the last couple of weeks, you go to watch it, and it says this video content is blocked or something like that on their end. So I was like, well, I I don't know whether to post that. But they do have it on Stream TV every Saturday night at 9 o'clock. They play 2 movies back to back, starting at 9. So Al says, hey, let's do The Creature from the Black Lagoon next week. Ah, cool. Very cool. Patty had, I don't know if she's on here, Pat Sylvan one, if you see her name here. But she just, it was today or yesterday, sent me a picture of an item that she got in the store with The Creature from the Black Lagoon, something from Walmart. And it was cool because, and I looked at it and immediately I thought of Alex Ross. The artwork looked like an Alex Ross. And I'm saying this because I think it might have been a T-shirt. I'm not sure what the product was. It was in just a container, box, plastic wrap or something where you just saw the creature like in a pose swimming, like he's swimming upward. And it looked like an Alex Ross artwork. And I looked a little closer, and it did say Alex Ross at the bottom. If you don't know Alex Ross, phenomenal artist. He does a lot of graphic novels, does a lot of fantastic artwork. Does all the classic monsters. He does a lot of superheroes. Did the graphic novel Kingdom Come. If you've never seen that one or read that one, I strongly recommend that one. If you're a comic book geek, check it out. But that I'm trailing off here because of The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Jessica Lange and Fay Ray. Renee says yes, both playing, of course, our Lady in Distress and Darrow from Kong's love interest, I'll say. Let me see. Deborah says King Kong versus Mothra. That took some heavy drugs to write that one. What, King Kong? Yeah, if he fought Mothra. Did he fight Mothra in one of these newer ones? I know Godzilla fought him. Why not? They're throwing them all together now, so it wouldn't surprise me. I've not seen that. Jason says, the 76 is my favorite. I grew up with it. Ah, see? That is, and that was mentioned earlier, too. It's like, it's what you grew up with. It's what you remember seeing, because, like I said, I was a little bit before that. Like, I was already, I loved King Kong already as a kid. So, by the time the 76 movie came out, I already had my Kong. So, but I think, that would be Ava's. Ava likes the 76 one with Jessica Lange and is it Jeff Bridges? Let's see. Doc says, I really want to like the Peter Jackson film, but I don't. I try to like it. It's not for everybody. It's a long movie. Tom says, you got the order right. Jackson's version was surprisingly close second. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Patty, there's Patty. All right, I like Jackson. I was just talking about you. They had mentioned The Creature from Black Lagoon. I was mentioning the picture you had sent me of the creature, Alex Ross's artwork. Patty says, I like Jackson's except for the big scene. He was one of the pilots at the end of that film. I still have my laser discs and player. Oh, that's cool. D says, yeah, this past Saturday I couldn't watch Chiller Night with Jack Shadow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There with that. It's kind of hit and miss sometimes, Saturday I'll post what movies they're playing, but just so I don't know why it doesn't play. I know every once in a while they have some issues there, so I don't know. I don't know what the latest issue is, but it's on the schedule. It was on the schedule, so I'm not sure what's going on. Bonus says, "We love you, Paul. We're all one big, happy, dysfunctional family here." Roger says, "Good evening. I'm late." Hey, Roger, thanks for joining us. Jason says, "Alex Ross's Kingdom Come and Justice were awesome comics. Strong recommend." Yes. Paul says, "Family, have to go help Mom. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I love you, my chiller family. Call you tomorrow, brother." All right, Paul, thanks for joining us. And you have a wonderful night. And then Deborah says, "You can see it on YouTube." Oh, King Kong versus Mothra? Is that what you're talking to? Your last comment was about King Kong versus Mothra. Cool. I didn't know King Kong fought Mothra. Mothra. What a weird monster. John Wayne says the 2005 one is a great movie for a remake. Yeah. Like I said, it helps when the director loves the original source, the movie, which he did. He loved it. Not like you're getting these young whippersnappers these days that are ruining the Star Wars and all that. Tom says, yes, nostalgia is funny that way. One person miss is another one's hit. 76 Kong Steel Blue Chunks. So he says, yeah. Well, we want to establish that, make that clear. We're not going. Yeah, you're not going soft on that opinion, John Wayne says, my Laserdisc player is currently broken, needs to be repaired. I can imagine. Jason says, "Thank you very much for doing this every week, Brian. It's always fun." Oh, you're very welcome, Jason. It's fun for me. I love sitting here, bringing up a talk. Okay, it was brought up earlier. Creature from the Black Lagoon. That will be the Gill Man. He will be next week's topic. Stephanie says, "Take care, Paul." Deborah says, "Yeah, okay, all right. I'll have to check that out." I did not know. Kong versus is that? I wonder if that's one of the new ones. They're doing the like the monster universe now. Godzilla, King Kong, and King Gamera. I don't know. All those big classic monsters from the Toho universe, and with the addition of Kong. Well, Kong was in a few of those Toho movies. They're reimagining that universe now. So I can only imagine that if they haven't brought Mothra into that, then they're definitely planning on it. So I haven't seen all of those new ones. Patty says, "Show your shirt I sent you next week." Oh, I plan on it. As soon as the topic came up about the creature, I was definitely planning on doing that. Yes, you got it. And the reason I can't wear it, it's pretty big on me, but I appreciate it, and I will show you. And I know you questioned that. You thought, well, it might be too big, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a neat looking shirt. Renee says, "Kong, King of the Apes cartoon movie." There was I don't know if this is the same one, because I think there might have been a couple, but I know back in wasn't it Rankin and Bass actually had a King Kong cartoon back in the 60s? Never watched it, but I'm aware that one was out there. But I think it was Rankin and Bass. Same guys, of course, who brought you the all of the holiday stop motion specials like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all that. So Renee says, "Kong, King of the Apes, 2 seasons." Oh, really? Cartoon movies. Was that an older one, or is that something fairly recent? I wonder. about the cartoon. Stephanie says, funny you should say that, Brian, because we've talked about the Monster Universe in book club, except in a different matter. Interesting. Bonus says, SBC, does Donkey Kong count? I think it should. Doc says, climb on board the Rita as we lift anchor. The Rita, yeah, from the creature from Black Lagoon. And point the bow in the direction of the Black Lagoon. Ladies, plan on wearing your white swimsuits. Ah, yes. Good movie, good movie. Now I'm looking forward to the creature. Although, I gotta say, the only creature for the Black Lagoon movie I really cared for was the original. But we're going to cover all of them. We'll cover them all. You know, I've heard talk that they've been going to do a remake of the creature from Black Lagoon. And I've never seen anything of that. Has anybody heard of anything? I'll look into it for next week because I don't want to take away from next week's. You know, take away from Kong to talk about that. But let's see. Kevin says, good evening. I think I said, did I read that already? Well, thanks for joining us, Kevin. Renee says, King Kong and Friends, Godzilla, Dinosaurs, and Fantasy Creatures on Tubi. Okay, documentary. Jason versus Kong, John Wayne says. Jason versus Kong. I don't know about that one. Stephanie says, take care, y'all. See you next week. All right, Stephanie, thanks for joining us. And it says, sorry, SBCs, that's the only Kong game I've ever heard of or played. They had one back in when I was in school called Crazy Climber. Wasn't specifically King Kong necessarily, but they did have, oh, they have Damage, or was it Damage? Or Rampage. That had a big King Kong creature in it, and like a Godzilla type of creature. Crazy Climber, the object is to climb up the building, and you have these monsters and people and birds and potted plants and stuff being dropped at you. I think that had a King Kong in it that was climbing on the building, and it could grab you and throw you off. I think that was one of my favorite games, to be honest with you. Hard to remember, though. Tom says, night all, see you for the Creature Edition next week. Yes! Good night, Tom. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Renee says a 2016 cartoon. Oh, is that recent? Okay. Dee says, thank you so much for your Tuesday live streams. It's great fun. Take care, everyone. Well, thanks for joining us, Dee, and you're very welcome. Let's see. Patty says, stay safe. Got to go back to the store inventory. All right, Patty, thanks for joining us. Rampage. Yeah, she just wrote. See, yep, that was that arcade game. I thought that was it. Bonin says, see you, Tom Paisley. Take care. See you next week. Renee says, thank you for the awesome live King Kong show, Bryan Hogue. You're very welcome. Yeah, that was fun. King Kong. King Kong. What a neat... I'll throw up the other 1976 and then the 2005. I went and saw that one in the theater. I'll be honest, I don't think I saw the 76 one in the theater. I don't remember if I did or not. I remember seeing it, but it says, thanks to the Chillinite crew and Brian for another great show. Oh, thank you. Renee says she had a blast. Renee says, King Kong show was epic. Oh, thank you. I guess it's about that time. So thank you, guys. I appreciate the... Oh, Bob says, love Kong, but really think Godzilla would whoop the tar out of him. Oh, I agree, especially if they kept the original sizes. Even if it was the original 1954 Godzilla compared to the 1933 King Kong, there's still a huge, huge difference in size. Still love them both. Rampage was awesome, but so was Pacific Rim. Giant mechs fighting giant monsters, I was in. It was pretty good. Very cool. Doc says, thanks for the show, Brian. So much fun. Oh, you're welcome, Doc. Thank you. I don't know how I missed those ones. But it says, to quote the immortal Red Green, keep your sticks on the ice. We're all in this together. Renee says, saw 1976 King Kong at Regency Regency 1. I was 9 or 10, she says. Okay. Cool. Yep. Good stuff here tonight, folks. I'm glad everyone had a good time. Thank you for joining me and each other for tonight's Chiller Night Live. We'll see you next week. Have a good night. Have a good Chiller Night. Later.